Hello, I'm Trevor Hands. I'm the Director of Communications for the Garden City Co-op. Today I'm joined by Gabe Bautista and Victor Duarte here at our Garden 8 elevator location. As you saw in an earlier video, we kind of took a look at the whole process of how grain elevators work. Today we're going to get an inside view of one of those elevators. These are some of the older elevators we have. We have a couple new ones that are fully automated that you don't actually get inside except for the actual silo themselves. So today we're going to take a look at all the pieces that make some of these older slip form style elevators work. So Gabe, can you tell me what happens when a farmer brings in a truckload of grain here to the elevator?
Yep, well, the truck will pull onto our scale, we'll get them weighed, get all their information and put it onto the computer. From there, we'll probe the truck. If it's wheat or soybeans, we'll run it through the kicker, or if it's corn and milo, we'll just run it through our moisture tester, and depending on the moisture, we'll either run it through the dryer, or if it's not that way, we'll just finish drying it down with our aeration. And from there, we'll send the truck on over to the elevator. We are now in the inside receiving pit. This is where the truck will pull in and unload the grain. When we pull this lever here, it will allow the grain to flow into our boot pit. And now here we are in the boot section. As you can see, this right here is the gate that we opened earlier to allow the grain to flow from the inside pit to the boot section of the leg, which will allow the buckets to carry it 120 feet up to the distributor floor. We are now here at the distributor floor. From here, we are able to move the grain to the desired bin or to a belt on either the east or west side of the gallery floor, or to the scale for a loadout. Each number corresponds to a bin or spout to move the grain. We have to manually move the distributor to the desired spout on the floor to move the grain. Next, we move down to the gallery floor. Well, we just left the distributor floor where we set up the distributor from the scale to go into the west belt, which is right here. Now, it's going to allow the grain to come from the distributor down that spout onto our west belt. So now the grain is falling onto the top west belt, which will carry it on down to our tripper, which will dump the grain to the designated bin.
What is this contraption here?
Well, this right here is our tripper, and it is driven by the belt. This right here is our brake lever, and this right here is our drive lever. Pulling the drive lever down will let the tripper move up forward, and pushing the lever up will allow the tripper to go backwards.
So these like individual sprockets we see here, I mean, does this operate kind of like a throttle where the further over, the faster you go?
Yep, exactly.
So what are we looking at over here? What's this?
Well, that right there is our north spout. We also actually have one on the other side, which is our south spout. They're both controlled by that wheel up there, which allows the grain to either get dumped into the south side of the elevator or the north side of the elevator.
Okay. Okay, Gabe, so essentially, the truck comes in. We saw that, they, from the bottom of the hopper, the grain is released, it goes into the receiving pit, and then from there it goes to the boot pit, and then from there it's sent up to the distributor floor, to which then that's sent down to the gallery belt, and then the belt takes it to the tripper, where it's then sent off to the designated bin. So after the grain comes in, your job kind of shifts, you and Victor's job shift to just maintaining quality control on the grain in the bins here, right?
Yeah, and we do that by monitoring our hotspots, which is some temperature cables that we have in each one of our bins. If we notice that the temperature keeps on going up after they brought the grain in, then we know we either got a moisture problem or we got a bug problem. In which, if we have a bug problem, we fumigate it. If we have a moisture problem, we turn the bin and run air through it.
What would become your normal desired temperature range where you usually want to keep grain?
Well, the temperature range where I like to keep my grain is 40 to 50 degrees is where I like to, because that's where the bugs are dormant. So, you know, if you got your grain at 40 degrees, you shouldn't have a bug problem.
So that does require kind of a lot of cooling then, especially when you're dealing with your summer days.
Our aeration helps out a lot. We try to, in the night, we turn on our aeration, and then when we get to work in the morning, we turn it off so that way it's not sucking in moisture from, from the elements outside.
So the grain's been stored. What happens when the grain gets sold?
Well, the grain handling process basically gets reversed.
Yeah, because you're basically taking the grain that's been stored in these bins, and now we're putting it back into trucks, right?
Yeah, and that process begins down in our tunnel belt floor. You want to go see?
Sure, let's go.
So we are currently standing here under bin number 5, and right next to us we have the cables which control the airflow to this bin. And what that does is it pulls the air, the cool air from the top, and sucks all the moisture inside of the bin out and throws it outside. So basically it's replacing the moisture with cool air.
Gotcha.
And
So you see a lot of them, especially the newer ones, have the fan on the outside. Is this one on the inside?
yeah, on half of the bin it's on the inside. The other guy is just like the other bins in. We also have fans on the outside.
Gotcha. So what can you tell me about this machine right here?
Well, that there is our air compressor, and we use that to minimize the dust, seeing as how grain dust can be really explosive. The air line goes throughout the whole elevator, top, distributor, gallery floor, and in every floor we have a set of hoses, which we also have the correct nozzle tip for OSHA standard, and that's what we use to blow down the floors.
To keep everything clean.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so I've noticed these chutes. This must be where the grain flows down when we're ready to sell it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's where the grain comes and drops onto the belt, and from the belt it shoots down to the leg distributor. You want to follow me down there?
Sure.
This is our leg distributor, and this wheel right here determines whether the grain goes to the south leg or the north leg.
So you've got the grain that comes down out from the selected bin. It goes onto the tunnel belt. From the tunnel belt, it comes to this leg distributor, and then it goes onto either leg. Where does the grain go from there if it's going to be loaded out to a truck?
Well, from there, the leg takes it up to the distributor floor. The distributor floor will drop it down to our west belt floor, and from the west belt floor, it'll take it to the tripper, and from the tripper, it should take it to our loadout bin. From the bin to the truck, and out it goes, man.
So basically, there's a lot of repeat of the process that we've already been through. It's just now we're going to be moving that grain instead of into a storage bin. It's going to a loadout bin.
Yeah. Above us here are our loadout spouts. We can also load out from inside our receiving area, but prefer to load out here because it's faster. As soon as the truck is filled up, it will proceed to the scale where it will be weighed out.
Okay, so we've got our truck loaded out there at the elevator, and they come back to the scale house. So what happens to finish out this whole process?
Well, they pull onto our scale, we get them weighed, we probe them, enter their test weight and moisture onto the computer with the rest of their information, and from there we finish filling out their paperwork, print it, give them a copy, give them their copy, and send them on their way.
All right. Well, thanks, Gabe. Appreciate the tour.
Not a problem, anytime.